Welcome to Potential Moveset, a mini-series that I'm doing into the game Jump Force releases, and that's coming very soon. Now, there's a couple of reasons why I wanted to talk about Wingman. One, for his potential moveset, to show you that, of course, and two, to show you and touch upon his potential story mode influence, that being the Dream Note. Now, the picture you see here, the black and white picture, that's the Dream Note. Basically, that comes from the third dimension that can grant any wish if you write in it or draw on it. That's basically what Kenta, or Wingman, did to get his powers. Now, it could potentially influence the story of Jump Force in a way that could be a third party, where it could be the Onyx book, the Death Note, and then we have the Dream Note. So something like that, or the Onyx book could be a modified version of the Dream Note. Now that's some thought right there. I'll be using the manga, the anime, for references for his moveset, and his most recent game appearances are in Jump OT and Jump Stadium. Now when it comes to his personality type and how that could transfer into his moveset, he has a very typical kid behavior inspired by superheroes and Believer of Justice. So transfer all that, you get a very flashy style gameplay, very semi-aggressive, not too serious, with goofy attacks. Now let's start off with a few mobility options for our hero Wingman, starting with the left. Right there, that little picture you see, Oi, we'll get to her in a second a little bit more, and Kenta riding on, that's called the Winner. You potentially use that. And of course, on the right, you could just potentially just run very fast. Of course, the bottom, you use the pictures on the guard, most likely, definitely be seeing something like that. And of course, move on the picture to the left, what you'll be using to fight with is the Chrome Libor, or Labor, or whatever have you. Moving onwards to his grab and awakening. His grab, very quick, grabs you, then hops behind you, little hop with the wings animation, and hit you in the back of the neck. Simple, done. Going down to his awakening. Now this is called the Garter. Most likely, if he does get in the game, you will most for sure be looking at this for his awakening. Now he could either strengthen his defense or attack, and now he does not move as much. He can't fly as much with this, so you definitely won't be seeing as much wing movement as much as you would think, because he has wings. Now moving on to his heavy attack. We're not doing his light attack first. We're doing his heavy attack first, just to change things up a bit. Now going from left to right, he'll be, like remember said, he'll be flashy, so I could definitely see a nice 2-punch. Now that counts as one hit, and of course he does a little jump to his Wingle Crush, and then it goes down. And then once you do that, probably maybe I'll hop up, or maybe you don't fall down at all, and then he just throws his Chrome Libor at you as for a final hit. Now he's gonna be very hit you and go type of play style. Like I said, very semi-aggressive, very flashy, so don't expect anything too extensive in his style. Now I want to point out that the Wingle Crash and the double punch here, the little 2-punch, that could easily transfer into his super moves as well. So it's all about creative input when it comes to this type of thing. But he will be definitely using one of his flashy moves into his heavy and light attack combos. So this is probably the best example of what I could show you when it comes to that. Now we gotta move on to his light attack combo. This super simple. Nice little right punch, left punch, then a little jumping kick. This is the perfect lead-in into his super moves. You need something like this. His super moves are where it's really at when it comes to him. 3 hits for both his light and heavy, very medium damage, but fast. So expect to see something just like this if he does get in. Now he could potentially attack with his Chrome Libor with his like attack as well, but maybe as a combo ender, maybe as a 4th hit, maybe as a beginning, or maybe like I said, show you before, the little throw with the Chrome Libor that could be ending here as well. Alright, starting with his first super, the Driver Raid. A move that can continuously hit your opponent while using meter. This is him all day. This is his iconic move, and you wanna have quick access to his iconic move, so that's why it's this low and then it takes up this much meter. Now, of course, you go left. You start with going forward. then we go left, we go right, real quick, and you press it now. There's a chance that you could also dig into the ground and go up at your opponent as well. Maybe an alternate option like that. Now, it doesn't potentially have to use meter. It could be a cinematic super as well. But I think having that driver raid using meter as I just explained is much more of a better option in gameplay. It'll make it much more interesting. Now, this will do some real damage if he hits you with it, because that is some sharp tools he's using. And of course, moving on to his secondary super, Final Beam. Now, this could be a long-range beam shot. It could be a counter. I mean, counter is, you know, for these characters in the Jump Force is not too far off. And him having a counter, this will probably be it, because right now this is his retaliation to his opponent right here. So this being his counter is a very possibility, or it could just be a standard beam attack, being long and long range, as you can see right here in these panels, for sure. Now going back to that Oi character. Now she's very important to the story of Wingman. Basically, she goes wherever he goes, and he goes wherever she goes, type of situation, type of thing. So she being a part of his moveset isn't out of the question. Now, how could she function? She could do her using her third dimension power from Ho Dreams to shoot long-range targeting shots at your opponent. Of course, if you didn't know that, little quick stop, that she is the reason why Kenta or Wingman has gotten his powers, because she escaped from the third dimension. But getting back to his what she could do in his moveset, could be used as a combo extender or to keep out your opponent type of thing. So if your opponent is jumping up in the air and you can shoot in the air on the ground, basically to cancel out the opponent in some way. And of course, the final attack, Delta End. And the best way I can show this to you is this scene right here. It could be the driver raid. Remember when I said the driver raid could potentially, the regular driver raid could potentially go from the bottom up and slice your opponent, and activates this one right here. This could activate a cinematic where he does this little thing with the colors. He goes around and does this triangle shape like animation. Now, I imagine it being the same speed as this too, to be honest, but of course it'll be a little bit faster. Where he shoots out these beams, does a thing. I can't really see anything else being his ultimate. Like if I didn't mention before, I think they will look at the developers do put Wingman. I think they will look at the anime and the manga simultaneously to decide for his moveset, to give him a more complete moveset. So I think this Delta End move will definitely be in his ultimate. Now, of course, let's take a look at all these moves in Jump Force format. Driver Raid, Final Beam, Oi Assist, and Delta End. Simple, clean, and interesting. Thank you for watching. Tell me what character you'd like to see. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe for more. Until the next confirmation, I'll be seeing ya. Peace.
Continue.
Come on, kid, get moving. Hey, if you haven't noticed, it's your turn. Now you know what separates the champs from the chumps.